Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and before we begin things, as always, please make sure to smash a like on this video if you do appreciate the transparency, the portfolio update, and me just simply sharing my thoughts and opinions about the market and the moves that I'm making. So make sure to drop a like on the video, I would definitely appreciate it. And also, as always, anything that I say in this video is not to be considered financial advice, it is simply me just sharing my thoughts and opinions about the market. My portfolio today, it was kind of weird considering that pretty much the general stock market trend today was actually pretty solid. I think it was near about 1.5 to 2% on the general trend line. So as you can see right now, we are down about 0.45% or so. But if you check what the stock market is doing, so let's go to VOO, which is an ETF that tracks the top 508 companies in the S&P 500. So as you can see here, it's up about 1.6% or so as of right now in the after hours. So we had a much better day for the general stock market indexes compared to stocks like Microsoft and a few others out there, even like Tesla and Apple as well. So there is a big difference in what the stocks in my portfolio are doing compared to what the actual stock market is doing. It seems today, from my observations, for example, I'll go to, I think, JP Morgan and Chase. So the bank stocks like this are doing super well today. As you can see, about a 7.5% gain today for this bank stock. Yeah, so I just typed in the commercial banking category, and if you look at some of the top commercial bank stocks out here today, pretty much every single one of these is over 5%, 7.32%, 7.47%, 9%, 9%, about 6%, 9%, 9%, 9%, 7%, 9%. So the bank stocks did extremely well today. And I'm guessing in comparison, if you look at like the tech stocks, I mean, even VGT, that's an ETF surrounding technology, it did okay today, as you can see in the after hours. It's kind of strange that the after hours did much better than the normal today. But I mean, even as you can see with this, I bet if we look up NASDAQ as well, that it's not super high. There should be just one. Yeah, right here. Okay, so NASDAQ did solid today. This focuses a little bit more on technology. It's just a little bit more technology focused than other ETFs and stocks out there. So it still didn't reach that like 1.5% that we got with VOO. And I'm assuming pretty much the same thing with SPY as well. Yeah, SPY did a little bit about the same. VOO did better, I believe. So as you can see from today, it's pretty much focused on the more, I guess, traditional core stocks. I bet if we look up CCL, the cruise line stock, that it performed pretty well today. Oh yeah, about 13%, a little over 13% for Carnival Cruise Lines. So assuming this, I bet the hotel stocks up are a lot as well. I'd say like MGM and maybe Wynn Resorts as well. MGM up about 12%. Let's see if Wynn is up as well. Yeah, Wynn Resorts, that is up 9%. So what I'm seeing from today is what the pattern is, and this is one of the main reasons why I didn't gain as much money with my portfolio. It seems like with today, technology, a lot of the technology stocks have already caught up past the rebound. For example, Microsoft is a huge example of that. I mean, after the crash, of course, we went downwards a little bit until this bottom, and now we have pretty much met the level that we were at before the crash, and I'm assuming the same thing applies to VOO. I mean, I know for VOO for sure. But see, yeah, we have a little bit of a ways to go with VOO. And then, of course, with CCL as well, it's still very far down from what it was at before if we look at the past 5 years. So it seems like the stocks, I mean, if we look up JP Morgan and Chase again, I'd assume the same thing. So a lot of the stocks that gained a lot in percentage today are those stocks that still haven't recovered fully. So I think that's why we have this sort of inverse pattern for the stocks that I have in my portfolio today, because today's growth was mostly focused on those like core traditional stocks like the airlines, the cruise industry, the bank stocks. I guess a huge focus on like some of the pure necessities in our economy like banking and flights. So I'm assuming that's why we didn't see the technology stocks match up with what we saw today with those stocks. So I guess that makes sense as to why Microsoft is down 0.95%. I mean, I have to admit I was a little bit surprised that Microsoft was not at least a little bit green today. I mean, it went past the line. It started out green and it kind of went volatile here back and forth between the line. But it ended negative. It ended red. And then with Tesla, of course, it performed pretty solid for us today, at least stayed in the green. Apple actually started out pretty high and then ended red as well. So the technology stocks definitely didn't do as well as those core traditional stocks that I was talking about today. But just back onto a huge topic of this video, which is just me talking about a recent move that I made in the stock market. I actually made a few purchases on Microsoft today. I took a little bit of advantage of this red day that we had today. I mean, I got it at a cheaper price than what it started out as. So I'll go ahead and show you what the price is that I purchased it at. So I completed a market buy 3 hours ago for 2 shares at a price of $182.82 per share, which equals a total of $365.63. And then I also ordered another 4 shares 1 hour later when it went a little bit lower than the 182 at a share price of $181.69, and then of course in total it costed about $726. So we spent a little over $1,000 on Microsoft stock today. I think this was a pretty solid choice. For the long term, I feel like Microsoft is going to perform very well for me. They have a fantastic business model. They've really turned things around within the past 5 years, and a lot of that is thanks to the CEO, I believe Satya Nadella. I have to admit, I don't know as much about him as I know about Elon Musk. Elon Musk is one of those people that I've done so much research on, but I am a tiny bit unfamiliar with Satya, I have to admit. But I do know that investors like him, and when he replaced the previous CEO, I think the stock price actually went up 7% in one day because of that. So before all of this, a lot of people were ready for a new CEO, and it seems like Satya has really turned things around. From the investor perspective, I know a lot of people have great things to say about him, and I have watched a few interviews on YouTube with him as well, but so far it seems that he's doing a lot of good things for the company. And then of course, if you look at like the research report, the fair value for Microsoft is 196, and this stock is currently under fair value. So you do have to ask the question, when you're searching for stocks to purchase for yourself, when you're browsing pretty much everything on Robinhood, the top stocks, 100 most popular, one of the biggest things I like to focus on are stocks that I think are undervalued, or if they aren't undervalued, stocks that are simply worth buying at any time because they will do very well in the future, and of course keep those consistent percentage gains coming in. So when you have a stock like Microsoft that is undervalued, I mean, if you look at a lot of these other hype stocks out here like Tesla, for example, Tesla is considered overvalued in the market right now because it's $818, but if you look at the analyst fair value report, it is $731. So Tesla is about $100 over fair value, and then we can use the same example with Apple stock as well. Analysts are currently evaluating the fair value at about $240, and if you look at the Apple stock price, it's at $317. So a lot of the stocks in the stock market that usually do perform well are overvalued right now, and of course you do have some that are under fair value, but a lot of those are like the bank stocks, the travel stocks such as cruise lines and airlines, and some of those that are a little bit riskier that people just prefer not to risk getting into right now because of the whole Rona situation and whether there's going to be another crash or not in the future. So those are a little bit more risky, but you do have the option with Microsoft to where it is a high quality company with a good history. If you look at the past 5 years, it has absolutely consistent growth with about 30 to 50% per year on average. And of course, if you look at the revenue reports, I mean, they pretty much beat earnings every single time if you look at the chart right here. So there is a good consistency with Microsoft and its business models and its earnings. And of course, this doesn't really mean much, but there's like an 88% buy on Robinhood. I don't think that means much, but it is important to mention. I mean, it says 0% sell, which doesn't mean much, like I said, because there's a lot of stocks on here that I disagree with what Robinhood says about it. But for this one, in this case, I think that analysis is correct. And as you can see right here, it also has a $1.38 trillion market cap with a dividend as well, which is pretty nice in addition to the growth. As you can see right here, I have an upcoming dividend for Microsoft stock for 51 cents per share at a total amount of $57.63 for a total of 113 shares, in which I now own much more than that. I actually have 185 shares right now with an average cost of about $170 and about a $34,000 equity in this company. So I really do have a big stake in this. As you can see, about 43%. but I do have a lot of faith in it in the future. So that is why I am putting so much into this stock currently. And that's also why I made some purchases today as well, as you can see, because I do have faith in this company, especially for holding for the long term, for holding for my retirement. I do think that even with the dividends and the growth on top of that, even if there are some rough years or some rough patches within this long-term game, I think I'll come out on top at the end for sure. But anyways, I just wanted to share this video with you all. As always, make sure to smash that like button, drop a like on the video if you enjoy these, and also feel free to use my referral link to Robinhood and Webull in the description below if you would like to sign up and get some free stocks. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Stay safe out there.